Hey guys, gonna do my answers to the Q&A. Try to get this done in one video, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. So this might be two videos. Well, let's see. What movie have you seen the most? I'd have to say that'd be Jaws. I've seen that movie so many times as a kid, and it's carried over into adulthood. Whenever it's on TV, I'll watch it. I've put in the DVD into so many times. What movie do you recommend most to friends? Sallow. Most of my friends have never heard of the film. No one's ever checked it out, and I've only told about half of them that I recommend what the plot is, and the other half, who have no idea what the film's about, haven't checked it out anyway. I try to turn people on to some Kubrick, some Kurosawa, some Brunel. I try to turn people on to. No one ever wants to check out foreign films for some reason because they suck. My friends, I mean, not foreign films. Foreign films are great. What movie do you think is most overrated? I'll give you a couple. Titanic for one. Not a fan of that. I feel like it's a 3-hour love story. Love stories are done well, like in Gone with the Wind, Annie Hall, Last Picture Show. Those are all great, but this one doesn't do it for me. The Thin Red Line. God, do I hate that movie. I've fallen asleep during some great films. Black Orpheus and Battle of Algiers. When those two films were on TV, I fell asleep during it only because I was just tired. It had nothing to do with the film itself. I fell asleep during The Thin Red Line because of The Thin Red Line. There's a difference between falling asleep during and a movie putting you to sleep. That one put me to sleep. I've never been so bored with explosions going on and gunfires. It's just a miserable film. I hate that film so much. Terrence Malick tries to do the same thing he did with Days of Heaven and give it a real artsy feel with voiceovers, but the voiceovers, you have no idea who's talking or what they're talking about, and they have some kind of artsy shot, and I hate that film. A Man for All Seasons. I still to this day have no idea what was going on. With some of the Laurence Olivier's Shakespeare adaptations, you can tell what's going on, even if you can't understand what they're saying, which you generally have a good idea what they're saying in those, but in A Man for All Seasons, I had to put on the subtitles because I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying, and the entire film is dialogue. I saw that in English class, and I fell asleep during it. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Elizabeth Taylor, of Rest in Peace, was great in it, but it just came across as arguing for the sake of arguing. What movie do you think is most underrated? That's a hard one. Ace in the Hole is great. I love that one. It's a great film noir. I've seen it so many times. There's a future video I plan on doing is to do my list of most overrated and underrated films, and I haven't really made a list, so I'll just stick with Ace in the Hole as only number one. What was the first Criterion you ever watched? The first one I ever bought was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I don't know if it was the first Criterion movie I ever saw. First one I ever tried to get was Videodrome, but I got the wrong copy. I got the Universal edition. I knew it was too good to be true, the price. It was a while ago. Yeah. Who is your favorite director? Stanley Kubrick. I've seen his films so many times. Doctor Strangelove has to be going on 500 times I've seen that film. Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon. That's it. Barry Lyndon. That's one incredibly underrated film. It gets a false label as being long and boring, but that film is just so great. I love that film so much. It's one of my favorite films. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of directors I could throw out. My favorite directors that are working today are the Coen brothers. Alright. What do you do for fun besides watch movies? I like to hang out with my friends a lot. I tend to go drinking with them a lot. And the person who asked this, oh sorry, I forgot to mention names. From what movie have you seen the most to the most underrated is Cooler Guy 29229. Sorry for forgetting names. The last two were by Caitlin0120. And this one's from CJ Melina Tube. I said I was going to mention names, but I forgot. CJ Melina Tube is from Boston, so at least I'm pretty sure he's from Boston. So he's probably not going to like the fact that I'm a big Yankees fan. I'm a die-hard Yankees fan. But I'm not going to bring it up very often. I'm not going to shove it down your throat. The most you ever get from me is probably see me wearing a Yankees shirt from time to time, but that's about it. Yeah, so I watch baseball regularly. I've been to many baseball games, I should say many Yankee games. What is your favorite Misfits album? I got two in mind. I'm going to put on some Misfits in the background. One is Static Age. Static Age. Static Age. Sorry about that. And another is Earth AD. Oh, upon some skulls. Let's go back to the questions. Yeah, those two albums I love. I picked up the Misfits box set like years ago, and it has so many songs, and is a 4-disc set. I love that. Could you show us your big toe? I will, and not only will I do that, I'll tell you the story of why my screen name is Big 12 512. 512 is obviously because my birthday is May 12th. And I really didn't have a name in mind when I was creating the account. And a couple days prior, I just completely shattered my toenail. Well, before I finish the story, there it is. I completely shattered my toenail because I dropped a motor on it, an electric motor, and it hurt like hell. And my friends were horrified when they saw my toe because it looked like broken glass. Like if you put your fist through a window or a mirror, that's what it would look like. And this was near summertime too, so I remember going to a water park and they were just horrified. And I was actually forced to wear socks whenever we went to the pool. Like I'd be swimming with socks on because they couldn't take looking at my toe. So I was kind of synonymous with having a messed up toe. So that's kind of how I got the idea to put that there. Next one is from Metal 1. What's my favorite movie? It changes a lot, but I think the one that's been most consistent, and I think the one that's I'm at now, is where did I find this? Apocalypse Now. Love this film. This is one of the few films I actually bought twice. I already had this on DVD, but I had to upgrade to the 3-disc Blu-ray. Love this movie so much. I've seen it so many times, and it leaves such a lasting impact on me every single time I watch it. In my opinion, it's better than The Godfather. I know The Godfather is like such a great film. I agree with it. I definitely think it's one of the best films ever made. but Apocalypse Now is such a masterpiece. How many Blu-rays do I have? I counted recently. I think I have 32. Obviously, I'm gonna be having more in the future, and I don't really set out to seek for Blu-rays. I usually go for whatever's cheaper, unless it's a film that demands to be owned on Blu-ray. And finally, how many DVDs do you have in your collection? A lot. I couldn't even tell you. Gonna throw out a random number. 350 to 400. That sounds about right. I don't want to overstate it. Like, I don't want to say like 700, and I don't have that. There's a lot of DVDs that are scattered around the house, but those are the ones I really don't care much about. How long have you been collecting DVDs? This is from Dr. Hasleen. I've been collecting about from 2000, 2001, around there. I'm leaning towards 2001. The first DVD I ever owned, I actually can tell you that one because I know the answer to that one. It would be Never Say Never Again, the Bond film, the last one with Sean Connery. And I know that because I used to tape the Bond films when they were on TV, like on TBS, and that one didn't tape. I got so annoyed when I popped in VHS and it wouldn't play. God damn it! So I just went out and bought the DVD. This next one is from, I shouldn't mention his name because he asked a stupid question when I said not to ask stupid questions. But I said I wouldn't answer them, but I really meant it in the sense to deter stupid questions. But Idiotic Movie Guy asked an idiotic question, and it's, who would win in a fight between a beaver and a bear? The question I asked is an example of a really stupid question. It depends. I didn't say what kind of bear. It could be a polar bear. Let me check the runtime real quick before I finish. Ooh, we're at 12 minutes, so this is gonna be end of part 1. It could be a polar bear versus a mutant beaver, or a panda bear versus a mutant beaver. So I didn't specify. Or it could be Rosie O'Donnell's black hole beaver, sucks up all life. I have to go bear. Well, end of part 1. We'll start with Mr. Joel 450, who's the ultimate Criterion collector. He has got some good ones that I have to think about before I start part 2. So I'm going to think about that real quick, then I'm going to answer them. Well, this is end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.